All right, so for number five, the idea is that there's really three triangles in here. And this one triangle, there's like the big right triangle, and then there's like a small one right here, and then there's a medium right here. And if you line up the right angles, so if we just draw out the big triangle, of course, it has this is 100, and the x. The thing is, the x isn't part of that big triangle at all. It just goes through here. But if we redraw this triangle, so this little triangle, it has a 36 right here, and then it has an X, and it looks like the 36 is the short side, and the X is the long side. But the problem is, I want to kind of line up the right angles to be where the big triangle is. So let's put the 36 like that. The 36 would be like the short side, and then the X, like this X is like this part of the big triangle, like the X is the long part of the small triangle is what I meant to say. And that lines up kind of with like what this unknown part of this triangle is. But unfortunately, that's not helpful. But we can see, okay, well, look at this medium triangle. Well, X isn't the long part of this triangle right here. This is this green triangle. That's what I'm calling the medium triangle compared to this yellow one would be like um, this triangle that I have right here, that yellow triangle right there. So the X would be, the short part of this triangle, and its little piece, like its long side right here, is like this piece right here, so that would be 64. So we could set a proportion with that thing, and the idea is that 36 over x is equal to x over 36. So short over long equals short over long. And even if you did the proportion the other way, short over short equals long over long, it's the same thing. You get 36 over x is equal to x over 36. And again, you just cross multiply, sorry, x over 64, say. You just cross multiply to solve for x. So you could do 36 times 64, which is 2304, and you could take that and square root it. But there's a little trick. I don't feel like dealing with a big number. So I'm going to square root this thing right here. And a property of square roots is that the square root of a product is the same thing as the product of the square roots. So instead of taking 36 times 64 and getting this really big number, I'm going to square root each of these numbers individually. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 64 is 8. And so x is equal to 6 times 8, which means x is equal to 48. So that's the value of x for number